To a rather misty Cheltenham. You're quite right, it certainly is not a fun day for Peter O'Sullivan, I think, but it's the first major occasion, as you say, of the new season, the two-day Mackeson meeting. Tomorrow sees the 35th running of the Mackeson Gold Cup. 14 have been declared, more of that in a moment. Today, meanwhile, is the 8th Cheltenham Countryside Day. The previous 7 have raised over £700,000 for the British Field Sports Society and associated charities. Well, we're racing on the old course today, and the going is officially good, and that's how the jockeys describe it. There's been controversy. Philip Arkwright, the clerk of the course, watered the top end of the course early in the week. Since then, there's been half an inch of rain. Several trainers were unhappy, but I think without reason. It's genuine good ground. Well, the Steel Plate and Sections Young Chasers Championship Final is today's feature race. It's worth over £13,500 to the winner. The Scottish national winner, Earth Summits, amongst the runners. And, as you've heard, Deep Sensation carries top weight in the 2:30. There's a non-runner in that 2:30, leaving just 3. Number 4, Dr. Rocket, who ran yesterday, is an absentee. Well as the British Field Sports Society, riding for the disabled benefits from today's racing. And earlier we had the annual Mounted Games, which resulted in a tie between the riders' team, captained by Jim Wilson, and the commentators' team. Charlie Fawkes there, receiving a rosette from Her Royal Highness, the Princess Royal, and the team captained by Peter Scudamore, who I think guided them to success. And so on to the early races of the afternoon, and this is what's happened so far. The 1:20 race, the Colne Valley Fish and Game Company Amateur Riders Novices Chase, that went to number 2, Buckshot, at 16-1. Second, number 8, Picketstone at 14-1. Third, number 9, Foxgrove at 12-1. Peter Skew started 11-10 on favourite. He was in front and going strong at the 5th last, but fell. Then the 150 race, 155, a terrific finish there. And it went to number 8, Wings of Freedom, at 10-1. Second, number 6, Lansdowne, the 4-1 favourite. Third, number 9, Primo Filio, at 9-1. Which brings us right up to date. Tomorrow's highlight, of course, the 35th running of the Mackeson Gold Cup, and this morning's big news is that Carl Llewellyn, the intended rider of the favourite Tipping Tim, will not be fit to ride. Tipping Tim's been back from 6-1 down to as low as 11-4 during the course of the week. Peter Scudamore takes us behind the scenes.
It's a muddy road to the winner's enclosure. Tipping Tim's preparation for the Mackeson Gold Cup has been unconventional. For him, it's back to nature. Rather than the shelter of a stable, he faces the elements day and night. He's brought in for his breakfast at 6 o'clock each morning.
I came out in the field because he had a few problems last year that were related to his breathing. Very poor performance on the racecourse, and Nigel just felt that if we trained him from the field, it would give him a chance, and it seems to work.
And he's happy out in the field?
Very, very happy. He loves getting really muddy. Doesn't mind coming in to eat as long as he can go back out again.
So he comes in, what, 3 times a day?
Comes in twice a day, give him a feed now, and then we work him. And then he'll come in evening stables.
Because of his poor performances, Tipping Tim was almost retired. But now he's working as well as he did 2 years ago.
Towards the last in the 1992 Mackeson, and it's Tipping Tim, the gamble of the race, from another coral last year's winner, then Beach Road, then General Idea. Tipping Tim by 3 lengths lands from another coral in second, another coral putting in a tremendous run is Tipping Tim on the far side, another coral on the near side. Beach Road in third, General Idea 4. Tipping Tim is going to hold a ball and win it easily, and at the line it's a local triumph. Tipping Tim has won the Mackeson.
Although he's won a Mackeson, 3 mile would be his optimum trip, would it?
I think the 2-5 round Cheltenham, with a fast run race, which is obviously what Mackeson is, it suits him just as well.
Because when he won the Mackeson, he got himself towards the rear at any rate, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. There's only a few behind him past the stands, but they went a hell of a gallop, and when they do that, they're obviously going to stop. And he can pick them up late on and also quicken up.
And he's come back and he's won these 3 races over hurdles. Are you worried that that'll affect his steeplechasing?
Not in one bit, no. It won't make any difference. He's a great jumper of a fence. He jumps the fence better than he does a hurdle. And no worries at all about that.
Tipping Tim is a popular horse in the Cotswold village of Naunton. The favourite will be well supported in the local bookies. His summer home is the neighbouring village of Guyting Power at Grange Stud, where he has an illustrious companion in the former Cheltenham Gold Cup winner Charter Party. The fortunate owner is Jenny Mould.
Well, obviously it is lucky because, in fact, Tipping Tim, when I saw him, I didn't think it was my sort of horse. But he just sort of grew into being a really big chaser type, and obviously his character and his look, I always think he looks like an Exmoor pony with his muzzle. But he's obviously our favourite, along with Charter Party and Barton Bank.
And he'll come here for his summer rest?
He loves coming here. He's so happy. Can't wait to get away from the stables. And I always love it to have them all back in one piece.
And I know as one of the leading owners of the country that you feel that the owners aren't that well represented.
Well, I think, you know, because it's always like it's Nigel's Tipping Tim, or it's never our horses, and we're the ones that pay for it. And I don't think we get, you know, quite enough recognition in that way. Because, in fact, we all love our horses as much as the trainers. So I just feel that, you know, it's always the trainer's horse and not our horse.
Well, I hope on Saturday that you're picking up Tipping Tim's brand new Gold Cup.
Oh, don't. I'm so nervous about it.
Tipping Tim remains favourite overnight. Graham Rock has news of the betting. Graham?
Yes, they bet 4-1 Tipping Tim, easing out from as low as 11-4. 11-2 Storm Alert, 6 Bradbury Star, 9 Mulbank, 12 Egypt Mill Prince and Errant Knight, 14 King of the Lot, 16 Commercial Artist, Second Schedule and Wind, and 16-1 Wind Force, 25-1 Bar.
Graham, thank you. Any significant money on today's racing?
Well Briefed has been backed in our feature race from 9-1 down to about 5-1. There's also very good support there for the favourite Martomick.
Thank you. Now, news of the big race. David Bridgewater, he is the new jockey on Tipping Tim. Adrian Maguire, well, he's watching television this afternoon with his great friend Carl Llewellyn. Good afternoon, gentlemen. And Graham is hoping to be fit tomorrow. He's had laser treatment on his thigh, but he's got to pass the doctor tomorrow. His ride is King of the Lot. And so now on to our first live race of the afternoon. It's the Mitsubishi Shogun Handicap Chase. Down to 3 runners now. Peter O'Sullivan names them.
And number 1 is Deep Sensation, ridden by Richard Dunwoody. 2 is Wonder Man, Jamie Osborne. 3 is Strong Views, ridden by Norman Williamson. Winners of 31 races between them, these 3. And the betting at the moment as follows.
Deep Sensation is 6-4 on from 8-11. Wonderman out to 13-8 from 5-4. Strong Views 9-1 from 12-1. Just nibbled in there, the outsider of 3.
So here he is, the former 2-mile champion chaser, Deep Sensation, back at the scene of his greatest triumph 20 months ago. And here to watch him today on his first day's racing for 6 months is his regular jockey, Declan Murphy. Declan, how does he look here?
He looks magnificent. He really does look well. And I just hope something happens down there to just get him a little bit enthusiastic and get him tuned in.
He just failed to repeat his champion chase win this March. They're just starting to line up. Richard Dunwoody is going to ride him today in this small field. Do you think it's going to suit him, this small field? And, of course, the ground.
Well, the ground won't inconvenience him, and I think you can ride him in a way that shouldn't inconvenience him, in that when I rode him against Remittance Man and Wonder Man at Kempton last year, I jumped off and met it in a way that he would enjoy it. And I think if Richard just bounces him out, sets a pace that he would enjoy in a way that the horses will never be expected to pick up too quick, I think everything should work out for him.
Let's hope so. Jamie Osborne, the jockey on Wonder Man. Let's have a quick word from Richard and Peter Skidmore.
Well, the big difficulty here is going to be the tactics, because all 3 of these nice horses that they are like to be held up. Skew, it's going to be dodgy. They'll all have kidded themselves, the jockeys, won't they?
Yes, as Declan said, this one has made it before. He led earlier to Exeter, his first run of the season. And this is a good track, as you know, Richard. You've got a lovely line of fences up over those first 3 just to get them jumping, and then you swing away. You don't want to be going too steady, otherwise it makes it a false race, and then Strong Views comes into calculation. Doesn't he look well, Wonder Man? He was well beaten at Exeter, but he's got a chance on his best form.
8 to 11 Deep Sensation, 7 to 4 Wonder Man from 5 to 4, and Strong News is 9 to 1.
Wonder Man, well, he's run up against Deep Sensation a lot of times and come off worst. He just seems to have it to do to beat this horse.
Yes, he looked a fabulous novice. If you look back through his form, he's got a whole string of ones by his name, but then he just, when he was getting really going, he made the odd mistake and was disappointing. They're just beginning to line up now, so we'll hand over to Peter.
Facing up to the first of the 12 fences now, and Wonder Man, a rather reluctant leader with his white face, and Deep Sensation almost upsides him, and then Strong Views. They come to the first of the 12 fences, and pretty well in unison, these old rivals, winners each of 12 races. 12 of his 41 Deep Sensation, 12 of his 32 Wonder Man. Wonder Man comes to the second, lands about a length in front of Deep Sensation, and then Strong Views. And a long run to the third, which will be the last after a complete circuit. Wonder Man and Deep Sensation, they're going quite a reasonable pace now. Strong Views back in third. Strong Views well out of the handicap, and about 4 to 5 lengths adrift as Deep Sensation comes to take it up fractionally on the near side from Wonder Man. Not much between them. They land in unison once again. Strong Views about 5 lengths off them, and they swing left-handed now towards the fourth obstacle, with Wonder Man on the inside of Deep Sensation. Wonder Man and Jamie Osborne, Deep Sensation, Richard Dunwoody getting a little bit closer to them. Norman Williamson on Strong Views. Together, the leaders, all immaculate at that one. A run downhill now, and another plain fence before the first, before the water, and then a plain one before the first of the ditches. Number 5, Deep Sensation, ears pricked, in the lead from Wonder Man over the field. Strong Views, not far off them. And now the water. Deep Sensation, the only course winner in the field, leading by a length and a half to 2 lengths over the water. A very good jump on the outside by Strong Views, jumps right up to dispute second place now with Wonder Man. First of the ditches, Deep Sensation, Strong Views, another very, very good leap there. Wonder Man just back in third now. Now the plain one, number 8, before the final ditch. Deep Sensation from Strong Views and Wonder Man. And now coming to the last ditch, number 9 of the 12 fences in all in this Mitsubishi Shogun Handicap Chase. The fourth from home, Deep Sensation from Strong Views and Wonder Man. At this ditch, Deep Sensation from Strong Views and Wonder Man. Racing towards the top of the hill now. And 3 fences left to jump in the Mitsubishi Shogun Handicap Chase. And Deep Sensation, the leader, from Strong Views and Wonder Man as they run down towards the third last. Deep Sensation. Strong Views towards the left as we see them. Then the white face of Wonder Man. At the third last, Strong Views still traveling strongly on the far side of Deep Sensation. The third last, Deep Sensation lands with the lead from Strong Views, makes a mistake there, and Wonder Man moves back into second. And it's Deep Sensation as they come now down towards the second last. Deep Sensation towards the right of the picture. Wonder Man getting closer all the time, not so much between them now. And Richard Dunwoody looks over his right shoulder, sees there's danger from Jamie Osborne on Wonder Man as they round the home turn. Deep Sensation, the leader, from Wonder Man on the near side. Deep Sensation over on the far side, coming to the final fence now. Deep Sensation and Wonder Man. Very little between them. Deep Sensation, they both jump it beautifully. Deep Sensation it is from Wonder Man as they race into the closing stages. Deep Sensation over on the far side. Wonder Man trying all the time to get on terms with him, but Deep Sensation quickening. He's going to win over the course for the second time in his career, and Deep Sensation is the winner, and Wonder Man is second, and third about 15 to 20 lengths back is Strong Views, and so the result of the Mitsubishi Shogun Handicap Chase is first, number 1, Deep Sensation, owned by Mr. R.F. Elliott, trained by Josh Gifford and written by Richard Dunwoody. Second was number 2, Wonder Man, owned by Mrs. Shirley Robbins, trained by David Nicholson and written by Jamie Osborne. And third was number 3, Strong Views, owned by Zim Horan, trained by John White and written by Norman Williamson. A grateful pat there from Richard Dunwoody after his 54th winner of the season. He's now 5 ahead of his great rival, Adrian Bergois.
Well, all three nicely together. They'd gone very steady early on, as you might have expected, as they all want to be held up ideally. Big jump there from Deep Sensation in front, who's absolutely loving it there. Look at him with his ears pricked. That really was a nice shot. Strong Views just touched the top of it a little bit. But here it was interesting because it was cat and mouse all the way, as you would expect from 3 runners. Wonder Man's white face just sneaking up there. You can see a big jump from him. They're handicappers, they know what, but Woody looking round.
Richard's got the inside. He's made that his own all the way down there. Jamie's pulled to the outside just to not trying to be clever or anything. And he must have thought he had a chance here, but Richard, as you say, has gone a fair gallop throughout the race without going too quick, just trying to save a little bit for the end, because he knows if he presses the button too hard on this horse, he will say no thank you, but he's just nursed him home. They're both looking for a great jump. What a 2 brilliant jockeys, a lovely jump. And Deep Sensation just looks to be going a little bit easier than Wonder Man, just finding it easier for himself, got away from the fence quicker and allowing Richard not having to go maximum on him. There he is, just shaking the reins at him, not really picking up the way Declan does. And Wonder Man, though, sticks to his job all the way to the line, but not good enough in the end.
Nobody's put up a good performance there in chasing Deep Sensation right to the line. Interesting to see those 2 jockeys get very low into their horses to get the best out of them. It's a pelvic movement to urge them on. And the starting prices, Deep Sensation, the winner, the 11 to 8 on favourite. Wonder Man was second at 7 to 4, and Strong Views, a very distant third at 8 to 1. So Jamie Osborne coming in there on the on Wonder Man. I think that was a good run, and Richard Dunwoody there explaining all about this horse. Let's take another view at the race.
It's very difficult, isn't it, Richard, when you're riding horses like this and you're in front. It's a very, very long way up the hill, and you don't know whether you've committed yourself too soon. We've watched races here and horses a lot further in front of them this getting beaten, so you're just hoping and praying that the old horse is going to try for you, and you're sort of you're thinking, you're doing the Mary with you're doing the bit where you're trying to think into the horse and saying, look, I won't hit you, you keep doing your best for me, and you're just trying to communicate to the horse without actually talking to him. And Richard, if anybody can communicate with him, it's Richard. There he is, just as I say, not really grabbing hold of him, just being very kind and nursing him all the way to the line. And you see there with Jamie, a lot tighter hold of the horse's head, really going for it, but as we said already, not good enough.
Watching that with a soft eye was Declan Murphy. Declan, perfect for him, wasn't it?
Beautiful, Richard, a wonderful ride, and just rode him like the good horse he is, and it got him to jump beautifully, got him to enjoy it. Great confidence booster.
He really did meet his fences absolutely spot on today, doesn't he? As he's capable of doing.
As he is, I mean, he is a wonderful jumper, but you've got to ride the race to suit him, and that's what Richard's done beautifully.
Yeah. Coming up the hill, there's this temptation, obviously, to think about going for your stick with half a length, no more than half a length, but he didn't do that. And here he comes back in. Declan, it's your first day's racing since May. How did you feel watching that?
Well, it was wonderful. I never thought I'd be standing watching him win without being on his back, but it was wonderful, and as I say, it's lovely to see him back winning like that.
But a certain amount of twinge in the heart?
Well, it's lovely to feel that, yes, I am missing it. I really would have given anything to be on board there, and that is a wonderful feeling.
28-1 double for Josh Gifford, and the horses are really starting to run well now, aren't
They
they?
are running well. I've seen the horses at a couple of different stages. I've been down there, and I don't think I've ever seen the horses look better, and they are really coming to hand now.
So you've got a target to aim at.
I've got a target to aim at, so it's making me anxious.
Well, that was jumping at its very, very best. And as Richard Dunwoody poses for the first time, and who knows, perhaps the last, with Deep Sensation, we can pass our best wishes to John Stubbs, one of the senior starting price reporters, who's starting price reporter of the Sporting Life, who was badly injured in a car smash a few days ago. We think of him as we call for the starting prices on the Mitsubishi Shogun Handicap Chase.
First, number 1, Deep Sensation, 11-8 on favourite. Second, number 2, Wonder Man, 7-4. And third, number 3, Strong Views, 8-1. 3 ran, 3 finished. And elsewhere, Lingfield 12-10, winner there, number 1, Soaking, 13-2. Second, number 8, Wave Hill, 11-2. And third, number 7, Knightrider, 25-1. 12:40, first number 1, Very Dicey, 7-2, joint favourite. Second, number 6, Mujib, 7-2, joint favourite. And third, number 10, My Cherrywell, 13-2. 110 at Lingfield, first number 10, Speedy Classic, 7-2. Second, number 2, TM, 3-1 favourite. And third, number 4, Super Rocky, 7-2. And the 140 at Lingfield, first number 7, Slightly Beveled, 10-1. Second, number 1, Bond Secret, 6-1. And third, number 16, Water Bebe, 9-2. 210, first number 2, Silent Expression, 11-2. Second, number 5, Mazika, 5-1. And third, number 8, Hawaii Storm, 7-1. Air, the 12:30. First, number 2, General Command, 5-1. Second, number 4, Let's Get Lost, 5-4 on, favourite. And third, number 6, Musket Shot, 50-5-0-1. At 1 o'clock, first, number 2, Adjutant General, 10-1. Second, number 11, Sparky Gale, 4-1. And third, number 3, Corsten Racer, 20-1. Sorry about the delay there, but here we have the result of the 2-5 at Air. First, number 2, Ivy House, 13-8 on, favourite. Second, number 4, Great Max, 16-1. Third, number 7, Eastern Oasis, 12-1. 7 ran. Huntingdon, 12:45. First, number 2, Dark Silhouette, 11-10 on, favourite. Second, number 6, Thaden Pride, 20-1. And third, number 3, Flapping Freda, 10-1. 1:15 at Huntingdon. First, number 7, Wamda, 9-1. Second, number 5, Desert Challenger, 9-1 also. And third, number 2, Southampton, 3-1. 1:45. First, number 3, Jumbo, 4-1 joint favourite. Second, number 6, Phillips Woody, 11-2. And third, number 7, Nicklop, 8-1. And the last one from Huntingdon, the 2:20. First, number 8, Road to Fame, 7-1. Second, number 9, the Bud Club, 4-1. And third, number 2, Brave Highlander, 85-40 favourite.
Well, tomorrow, England and Romania begin their build-up to next May's Rugby Union World Cup in South Africa when they meet each other at Twickenham. The Romanian coach believes England are the strongest country in world rugby. Well, are they? At Twickenham is Chris Ray. Good afternoon, Chris.
Good afternoon to you, Helen. Well, I have here the very man who I think can answer that question, Will Carling, the England captain. Will, are you really the best in the world?
I'd like to be, but being honest, I don't think we are yet.
Yes. Now, a lot of us don't care to remember our 50th, but for you, it's a great landmark tomorrow, and one I imagine you're looking forward to immensely.
Yeah, I really am. I'm very proud, delighted to have got there. But it does make you feel rather old, I must say. People sort of talking about 50, but I just can't believe I've got there. Oh.
Well, we're going to talk in a minute, but first of all, let's find out how the preparations have been going.
A stone's throw from the evolving mighty new West Stand at Twickenham, the England team prepares for the opening salvo of a 6-match-long international season, leading to the start of the '95 World Cup in South Africa next May. High expectations last season were unfulfilled, with tries like this by Rory Underwood against Wales a rare sight. And England's new manager and coach rolled into one Jack Rowell, for 17 years Bath's guiding hand, knows that if England are to scale the heights in the world, they have to change and develop their style of play.
There's no doubt about that. England, as I've said, was very proud to follow them through the last World Cup, where they nearly won, but came out very prestigious runners-up. That was based on a mighty pack, experienced as well as skillful. That pack's gone, and we've got a new pack now, subject to Brian Moore, and they're finding the feet at international level. But they look very promising, but we aren't there yet. Certainly the drought, effectively, we've had in England not scoring tries in the last couple of years has to come to an end. We're looking to play with more options. If we look at the England backline on paper with, with the inside backs of Andrew, Carling, Guscott.
The climax of the Grand Prix season, Michael Schumacher and Damon Hill head-to-head live at 3:15.
Now on BBC Two, we return to Sport on Friday and Helen Rollison.
Welcome back to Sport on Friday. Let's go straight to Cheltenham now for the 3:05. Before that, though, we can rejoin Julian Wilson with some news.
Yes, happy to report that no casualties, either horse or rider, here at Cheltenham, but we do hear from Lingfield that Dean McEwen has had a fall from, let's be honest about it, in a 2:10 race there, and has been taken to hospital with injuries. No further news than that. On now to the big race of the day. It's the steel plating sections Young Chasers Championship final. 6 runners and riders named by Peter O'Sullivan.
Number 1 is Martomick, ridden by Norman Williamson. 2 is the Scottish national winner, Earth Summit, watched incidentally for the first time by all 6 of his owners, all here this afternoon, and ridden by David Bridgewater, deputising for Carl Llewellyn. David will be having his first ride in the Macassan on Tipping Tim tomorrow. 3 is Arthur's Minstrel, ridden by Warren Marston. 4 is Well Briefed, Brendan Powell. 5, Yorkshire Gale, Jamie Osborne. And 6 is Nickel Joe, ridden by Richard Dunwoody. And here's how they bet.
And Martomick is the firm favourite at 2-1. Arthur's Minstrel 5-2. Earth Summit 11-2. Yorkshire Gale 11-2. Well Briefed, who was well back this morning, stripping out to 8-1. And there's some money for the outsider, Nickel Joe, 33-1, down to 20-1. And again, 15-2 now, Well Briefed.
And here is the 2-1 favourite, Martomick. Some felt she was unlucky not to win the Sun Alliance Chase here in March. She made a bad mistake at the 12th. She was just getting back into the argument when she made another mistake at the second last. There she was in 3rd or 4th place on the inside behind Monsieur le Curé and Crystal Spirit, and whack, she really went through that one. And from there, Skew, she was really fighting a losing battle, wasn't she?
She was. She's done very well to get as close as we were watching the minute to the winner. She's a very, very tough mare. She went on to Aintree after this and was beaten in the heavy ground. Although she's won on the soft ground, I think she perhaps prefers the good ground that it is today. And we see Peter Niven in front. He's not giving up there. He knows that they're going to be coming from behind him, and she really battles on up the hill here, Martomick. A good mare, it takes a lot of beating. They're very, very tough, and she's a good mare.
Crystal Spirit will have to jump a bit better than that in the Colonial Cup.
They are a little bit smaller over there, so that'll help.
But this was good form, and, well, on the ground she likes, she's going to take some beating today. Let's rejoin Richard.
Yes, 2-1 favourite from 9-4, Martomick, lovely mare. This is a handicap, and therefore she has got to give weight away. It's a limited handicap, but she's got 11-12, and the bottom weight here is Nickel Joe, the grey, on 10-5. But Tim Bailey thinks that he's got this mare ready to do her job first time out. She'd always been aimed at this final, and there's very good prize money indeed of nearly 14 thou to the winner. She certainly looks ready to do the job. Just cantering down past the sign there is number 3, Arthur's Minstrel, in the well-known colours now of Bernard Hathaway. He's had horses for a long time, but he's spread his wings a lot. He's got flat horses with Jack Berry and Major Dick Hearn and all over the place. This does look well. Trained now by David Nicholson. Fell first time out and was going very well at the time, you know. It was only 3 out, and he had every chance in the race won by Wat Fettel at Wetherby. That was on the 28th of October. His only run of the season. He's only run for the Duke. But this horse will go on any ground. He's won on heavy. He's won on hard. He's 5-2 from 9-4. Looks well.
There is an old faithful of mine, Earth Summit, who's done remarkably well for a novice. Went on and won the Scottish National last year, and that's an extended 4 miles, so that's obviously a distance that suits him. I think you know, it's going to be difficult for him today on this shorter trip over 3 Mile 1, but he has had the one run at Uttoxeter, which all the connections are very pleased with him. He finished 5th, but he was there with every chance, jumping 4 out, and they just quickened away from it on his first run up over the last 3. But he'll give a good account of himself. He always does.
Yes, he is Earth Summit, one of the 2 British breds in this. Earth Summit bred by Mrs. J.B. Old and R.P. Fry. Now we're looking at Yorkshire Gale by Strong Gale. That one stands, or did stand until sadly he died last year. Rathbarry stud. They've now got Barathea for the flat. Yorkshire Gale, winner of his only race so far this season, and Josh Gifford, the trainer, has had a 29-1 double at Huntingdon, as well as having a 28-1 double here, and he'd only had 2 winners before today, Skew. They're really coming right.
Yes, but he has got beautiful horses, Josh. We noted at Ascot when he had his first winner of the season. Josh only brings his horses out to these good meetings now, and what a lovely individual this is, as all the Strong Gales are. What a fantastic sire he's been, and you wouldn't mind a stable full of horses looking like that, would you?
So, well brief. This is the horse that had been backed, and you know, he looks to have a little bit to do, but when you consider that here at Cheltenham in January he ran Monsieur Le Curé to 3 lengths, well, that was a very good run, admittedly getting a fair bit of weight, but on that occasion, ridden by Brendan Powell, he put up a tremendous performance with some fairly good horses behind him, so there is a glimmer there.
And we watched him run, didn't we, at Newbury? He was on the television there, and we spotted in the paddock, he looked a little bit big, and I thought coming to the ditch there, he was going as well as anything, and we did comment on it afterwards, and I hope that isn't the reason why he's coming in a little bit from the betting. Anyway, they're off, and I'll hand you over to Peter.
Winners of 31 races here, facing up to the first of the 19 fences, with Nickel Joe the Grey just the leader. The Summit and Martomick and the Sheepskin Noseband on the far side, the near side Yorkshire Gale and Arthur's Minstrel, well briefed the back marker. Martomick goes up on the inside of Nickel Joe as they run to the second. Martomick from Nickel Joe, then Earth Summit, Arthur's Minstrel on the inside, Yorkshire Gale and well briefed. All safely over the second, beginning the run downhill now to another plain one before the first water, with Martomick in the lead from Nickel Joe and Earth Summit and Arthur's Minstrel, and Yorkshire Gale and well briefed. This the third. Martomick runs in the lead from Nickel Joe, Earth Summit on the far side of Arthur's Minstrel. A little gap then to Yorkshire Gale, and finally well briefed. Over the water. Very good jump there by Earth Summit. You'll have spotted on the far side of the grey Nickel Joe. On the inside then, the noseband Martomick, the first of the ditches. They all negotiated successfully. Nickel Joe coming to the sixth from Martomick and Earth Summit. And Arthur's Minstrel and Yorkshire Gale and well briefed. Second of the ditches now. Nickel Joe, Martomick, Earth Summit on the far side. Arthur's Minstrel, well briefed, and Yorkshire Gale. Beginning to run downhill. Martomick on the inside of Nickel Joe, Earth Summit on the outside, the riders we see them, of Arthur's Minstrel and well briefed and Yorkshire Gale. They come to Fence number 8 of the 19 fences in all. Martomick, Nickel Joe and Earth Summit, Arthur's Minstrel. Earth Summit just lost a little bit of ground there. Number 9. Martomick and Nickel Joe together. A mistake there by Well Briefed. Rounding what will be the home turn next time round. Nickel Joe and Martomick from Earth Summit. Arthur's Minstrel, Well Briefed and Yorkshire Gale. Number 10. Martomick on the far side. Stands in the lead from Nickel Joe and Earth Summit. Arthur's Minstrel, Yorkshire Gale and Well Briefed. And still all to play for in this steel-plated sections Young Chasers Championship final. As they race to number 11, a slightly uphill fence. Martomick on the inside of Nickel Joe and then Earth Summit and Arthur's Minstrel and then Well Briefed and Yorkshire Gale. Martomick and Norman Williamson and Richard Dunwoody on the grey. Nickel Joe was going right up on the outside. Earth Summit, the outside towards the left, that is, as we see them. Number 12, Martomick and Earth Summit. Earth Summit on the far side, Martomick between horses Nickel Joe and then Arthur's Minstrel, then Well Briefed, and then Yorkshire Gale. Over the water. Slight mistake there by Arthur's Minstrel. And Earth Summit, the leader as they come to the third ditch. Over the 14th, Earth Summit from Martomick and Arthur's Minstrel as Nickel Joe begins to lose ground. 5 from home now. Earth Summit and David Bridgewater. Land 2 clear of Martomick and Arthur's Minstrel. Then Well Briefed and Nickel Joe. The final ditch they come to now. 4 from home. Earth Summit, the leader. Earth Summit from Martomick, Arthur's Minstrel, then Well Briefed, and Nickel Joe racing to the top of the hill, and running down. Yorkshire Gale has been pulled up, and Earth Summit with the advantage from Martomick with about a 3-length advantage now as they run down towards the third last in this steel-plated sections Young Chasers qualifier, and it's the Scottish Grand National winner, Earth Summit, the leader from Martomick. Young Minstrel, Arthur's Minstrel back in third. 3 from home. Earth Summit from Martomick, Arthur's Minstrel, and then Well Briefed, and then Nickel Joe. Racing towards the second last now. Earth Summit from Martomick being chased up to get back on terms with him. Earth Summit towards the right and Martomick towards the left, and there's not so much between them now as they race towards the home turn. Earth Summit towards the right, Martomick and the Sheepskin Nose Band towards the left nearest to us, and it's Earth Summit under David Bridgewater from Martomick and Norman Williamson, and these two have it between them as they come down to the 19th and final fence. Earth Summit with a 2 to 3 length advantage and opening up as they come to it. Earth Summit lands clear of Martomick, who doesn't get away with it too smartly, and it's Earth Summit from Martomick. Arthur's Minstrel's back in third and racing up towards the line, and Earth Summit is going to win the steel-plated sections Young Chasers Championship final. Earth Summit is the winner. Martomick is second, and running on to be third is Arthur's Minstrel with Nickel Joe in 4 and 5 Well Briefed, and so the result. First, number 2, Earth Summit, owned by the Summit Partnership, trained by Nigel Twiston Davis, who was second last year with Indian Tonic, and ridden by David Bridgewater. Second was number 1, Martomick, owned by Mr. Richard Shaw, trained by Ken Bailey and ridden by Kim Bailey and ridden by Norman Williamson. And third was number 3, Arthur's Minstrel, owned by Mr. Bernard Hathaway, trained by David Nicholson and ridden by Warren Marston. And fourth was number 6, Nickel Joe. So fantastic climax this for the Summit Partnership. The 6 joint owners in this syndicated, brilliant young syndicated horse, the youngest horse in the race, 6 years old, who now gets a 25 to 1 quote from Hills for the National, and similarly from Corals. Earth Summit by Celtic Cone out of Wingreen Hill by National Trust.
Yes, as this horse is very, very good at staying, and he really stretched Martomick from the top of the hill. Martomick looked to come there now dangerously, but it was her first run of the season, whereas Earth Summit had had a run, and we knew he'd stay up the hill.
Yeah, I didn't think he'd win beforehand. I thought these were too good for him. The Earth Summit partnership are always pulling my leg because I'm always degrading him on television, and he's proven me wrong, and long may he continue to do so. Nigel Payne, who owns the horse in partnership, it's his colours that he's running in today, so he'll be absolutely over the moon. The Grand National is really set his heart on that, and well, you couldn't have a better performance by a young horse, could you? Jumped from fence to fence and really galloped on. I mean, Martomick, yes, probably will need to run a little bit, but you know, they've galloped the rest into the ground, and I'm thoroughly delighted. And it's lovely to see a horse just pricking his ears like that at the finish, and what a grand horse he's been to that partnership.
Well, he's certainly shown, Skew, that he can really race up a hill. He can't get a distance far enough for him, and yet he's good enough to win at the lesser weight. Yeah, he's 11 to 2 Earth Summit, Martomick 2 to 1 favourite, Arthur's Minstrel 11 to 4 in third.
There, just leading the horse in is Marcella, and that's the second winner of the week. She also looks after Monty Bell, who's a full brother to Martomick, so she's had a good week. And I said the other day after Sweet Duke won at Chepstow, these lads and lassies put an immense amount of work in for it, and into it for very little pay, and they deserve all the credit they can get.
Yes, with me, Nigel Payne, one of the 5 partners in Earth Summit. And I remember nearly a year ago you won the qualifier for this, Nigel. Did you think you'd be back to win the final?
Well, we knew we would come back, and we always had this as a target for the season. We're going for the Coral National at Chepstow after Christmas, but this was just unbelievable because, you know, he was carrying a lot of weight. He's still only 6, and some really good horses against him.
Nigel, you're very much involved with Liverpool. This horse has already won a Scottish Grand National. Is he going to entry in April?
I would absolutely love him to go, and God willing he will go. I mean, for me it would be the dream of my life, even to have a runner, and to have a runner who looks to have a live chance would be fantastic.
It would be a shameless publicity coup if he went there and won the race for you.
Yes, I know. I'd have to try and organise to get myself to the press conference, which would be almost impossible, I think, under the circumstances. But it's just been wonderful, and you know, Nigel Twiston-Davies done a marvellous job on this horse, and of course Peter Scudamore found him for us, and you know, I've always said this before, you know, I had to, not to become boring, but £5,800 he cost, and it's just unbelievable, wonderful.
Have any of the shares been sold since?
No, and I don't think anybody would ever sell him for any price. I mean, we're just having so much fun, all 6 of us. It's fantastic, and you know, just look at it now. I mean, Cheltenham again. This is our 2nd win at Cheltenham. Oh, it's just tremendous, tremendous.
Well done. He's on his way back. I know you want to go and join him. Thank you, Nigel.
Thanks, Martin, very much.
And the 6 are Nigel Payne, whom you've just seen, racing public relations consultant, Peter Earle, who's a chartered accountant, Mike Bailey, who's a government officer in the Wirral, Bob Sims, who's a media consultant, Ricky George, who's a sports good wholesaler, and and Gordon Perry, who's a London businessman, and all 6 here this afternoon to greet their hero, Earth Summit. Winner of 6 of his 21 races now, and still as a 6-year-old with everything before him. Oh, congratulating each other. And Nigel Twiston-Davies, there he is in the specs, his 26th winner of the season. And the starting price is as follows.
First number 2, Earth Summit, 11 to 2. Second number 1, Martomick, 2 to 1 favourite. And third number 3, Arthur's Minstrel, 11 to 4. 6 ran. Lingfield, the 245, first number 9, Polly Peculiar, 8 to 1. Second number 7, Lady Reamer, 6 to 1. And third number 6, Greggina, 4 to 1. The 240 at Ayr, first number 6, Jigginstown, 5 to 2 joint favourite. Second number 1, Barney Rubble, 12 to 1. And third, number 7, Leading Prospect, 3 to 1. Huntingdon 250, first number 4, General Brandy, 5 to 1. Second number 2, Frozen Drop, 9 to 1. And third, number 8, Vicar of Bray, 5 to 1.
Well, we'll be back at Cheltenham for the 340. Well, now, let me get you up to date with all the football fun this afternoon. Jerry Francis has quit Queen's Park Rangers today after the club failed to persuade him to withdraw his resignation. Francis is already being tipped to take over at Tottenham. It's the 340. Plenty of promising young hurdlers in this race. With the runners and riders, here's Peter O'Sullivan.
Number 1 is Vicosa, ridden by Jamie Osborne. 2 is Evangelica, Richard Dunwoody. 3 is Chief Song, Tony Dickin. 4, Isaiah, Terry Kent. 5, Malaya, ridden by Tom Grantham.
11 to 10, Chief Song. 7 to 2, Isaiah and Malaya. 6 to 1, Evangelica, and 8 to 1, Vicosa.
And we'll move on in a few moments to the last race of our coverage. But a few moments ago, there were very happy scenes in the unsaddling enclosure following the Steel Plate and Sections Young Chasers Championship final. A 6-man partnership earning the winner, Earth Summit. Richard Pittman describes the presentation.
Yes, a happy gaggle of owners, and in fact making the presentation, Julian Robbins, who's chairman of Steel Plate and Sections Limited. In the soup, turning round any second now, is Peter Earle. Now, he's one of the 6 lucky partners in this horse that was bought for 5,800. It's won 60 grand now, and where will it go from here? I know that the Martel National is in its sights for the end of the season, and he'll certainly stay that distance, and very few horses do. But a good game, honest win today. He was only receiving £5 from Martomick. I think it was a tremendous performance. So Peter Earle, one of the 6 partners, and now coming in Nigel Twiston-Davies, and this win actually puts him on the top of the trainers table now for the season, deposing Philip Hobbs, who's led them all a merry gallop, and he could put that back right again tomorrow in the Mackerson with Mulbag. So Nigel, returned jolly trainer, and he'll know what to do with the body.
And the man who bought the horse in the bargain basement, Peter Scudamore. It's been an amazing success story, hasn't it?
Well, it's nice to take the credit for buying it, but in fact, Paul Webber bought the horse from Jim Old, funny enough, and I put him into a small bloodstock company that I was running rather unsuccessfully, and we couldn't sell the horse, and we sent him up to Doncaster, and Nigel Payne has given us an order, and we bought him back from there.
He's really gone from strength to strength. Does he look like a good horse at home?
He's not a good horse at home, and that's why I keep playing him down on the television, because he doesn't work well. But what more can I ask of the horse? He keeps winning, and he's got a 25 to 1 quote for the Grand National, which, as we know, is Nigel Payne's dream. But 25 to 1 at this stage of the season is a little bit optimistic, I think.
He's only rising 7. I mean, is it a reality?
I don't think age has got a lot to do with it. It's experience. I'd rather ride a young horse with a bit of enthusiasm than a horse that's sort of getting a little bit wary. But no, he's done everything we've asked of him.
Well, many congratulations for that. As the season starts to get seriously underway now, the big names are starting to appear, and last season's Cartier Horse of the Year, Denoli, reappeared at Punchestown last weekend in a 2.5-mile conditions hurdle. Tom Foley, his trainer, was a little bit concerned that he might be short. That was the only problem. He just dived slightly at the second last there, but he was a 5 to 1 on-shot against only 3 opponents. Otherwise, apart from that, he jumped quickly and accurately, made every yard of the running, and as you can hear, was cheered on by an enthusiastic crowd. Peter, a successful start to the season.
Yes, very good. It's very difficult for the trainer and for Charlie Swan, the jockey, when you've got a 5 to 1 on shot. You don't want to be too hard on him the first time in the season. You've been in front a long time. That's why he's made the mistake there. You know, Charlie, you sit sometimes to allow them to find the stride. Charlie's just trying to sit now to look for a stride there, and then you can give them a kick, and that's what he did before. He sat and the old stride didn't come, and he dived through the top. But what more can you ask? He's just hanging away a little bit to the left, which for those of us who've got horses who've got to take him on round Cheltenham won't be too pleased to see, because he's obviously a better horse round Cheltenham than he is round a right-handed track.
Is he going to be champion?
Well, I think he's won over the extremes of distances, the 2.5 at here and the 2.5 mile 5 at Aintree. So it'd just be interesting to see whether he's got the toe to cope with something like Large Action when he drops back over the 2 mile. But perhaps he's in the same mould of Dawn Run, and she looked
at this stage of her career that she wanted the extreme of distance, well, 2.5 plus, and she came back in a strongly run champion hurdle and she beat me, unfortunately.
Well, now he moves to Ferry House on December the 4th. After that, it's the AIG Europe Champion Hurdle at Leopardstown in January. Good luck to him, but perhaps he does need badly a pacemaker. Now, for news of further betting on the ASW Hurdle from Graham Rock.
And 11 to 10 Chief Song from 5 to 4. Then 4 to 1 Isaiah, 5 to 1 Malaya drifting out from 7 to 2. A little bit of money there for Evangelica, 11 to 2 from 6. And 10 to 1 Bicosa.
And the first that we can see is Chief Song, the favourite. This one trained by Simon Dow at Epsom by Chief Singer. Not unlike him in colour, is he? But this horse, you know, has been campaigned all over the place. He went down just after Christmas to Cannes-sur-Mer, where he ran 3 times on the level in January and February. And although not collecting then, actually wasn't beaten very far. But then when he came back in March, you know, he ran some great races. He was only beaten a length and a half by Warm Spell at Lingfield on the flat, and then the same by Ice Rebel at Brighton. So he's a good horse. And then he's come out and won his only hurdle race so far this season. He's a worthy favourite. He's 11 to 10 from 5 to 4, and Tony Dickens gets the ride.
There is grey horse number 4, Isaiah, walking across the track there. Richard quite rightly has said that Chief Song is a worthy favourite, but this horse, trained by Julie Cecil and ridden by the informed Terry Kent, we've been on about him a lot of the time, and that doesn't look like... yes, there he is. That's the horse behind the strange crossbolts. That's Terry Kent. I thought that was Jamie Osborne in front. The greys were confusing me, but you know, we've seen them to good effect, winning 2 good races already on television this season. And when a top flat race trainer sends these horses down, they have a big advantage over the jumping trainers who are having to go to Newmarket and places to buy second-hand horses.
And what a good win to run ratio Julie Cecil's got. Now, another interesting, there are 2 fillies in this, 2 greys, 2 fillies, is 5 Malaya by Comanche Run. Now, Malaya's owned by Count Conrad Ghost Saru, whose 3,500 acre estate in Marlborough will host the first timber chase next May. But let's concentrate on Malaya. Now, this one ran on the flat after its 2 wins from its 2 runs jumping, but even though it looked well and was fancied that day, it ran very, very moderately. I'm sure Jim Old's got it back to the sort of form it showed when winning twice last year. It's a half-sister, you know, to Spartan Sharif, who was a pretty good middle-distance performer on the level. I'm sure Conrad will read from this when her racing days are over.
And there is the Martin Pipe representative, owned by the Pipe Racing Club. This is a French horse, Richard, and unusual in that it's been running over fences, but they do run them much earlier in France, run at Auteuil. Now, this has come out of a claimer. It was a prey came out of our Collett's yard, and it was a claim for approximately £15,000 after finishing 2nd in the claiming chase at Auteuil. But they are good races in France, good prize money, and this Auteuil is the very, very top track. It's the Cheltenham of Paris and France, and if horses can run around there, they're no mugs.
And it looks fit to do the business.
Interesting thing about these horses
and Chief Song is firming up all the time. It's now even money Chief Song from 5 to 4. 9 to 2 Isaiah drifting out together with Malaya 5 to 1 now. 11 to 2 Evangelica and 10 to 1 Bicosa.
And running towards the first of the 8 flights in this ASW hurdle, Evangelica. In the center, over on the far side, Bicosa, and on the near side, Isaiah, but Evangelica the leader from Isaiah and Bicosa, and then Chief Song and Malaya. Evangelica and Richard Dunwoody on this ex-French 4-year-old. Isaiah, the grey, towards the left. As they come to the second. Isaiah on the near side, Evangelica on the far side. Motoring at a pretty good clip they are too. Chief Song jumped at 3rd, just ahead of Bicosa. And Isaiah takes it up now from Evangelica. Chief Song next, and then Vicosa, and finally Malaya. As Isaiah and Terry Kent go out into the country. A couple of lengths up on Evangelica, then Vicosa on the inside of Isaiah, and finally Malaya. Begin the downhill run now towards the next flight. Quite a long run to it. Evangelica on the outside of Isaiah at the third. Land just about together from Vicosa and Chief Song, and Malaya the back marker of the quintet. Isaiah the leader from Evangelica, Chief Song and Vicosa as they run down to the next flight. Number 4 of the 8 flights in all. Isaiah and Terry Kent from Evangelica, Vicosa and Chief Song. Malaya, some little way behind them. Not such a clever jump there by Evangelica. And still powering along in the lead, Isaiah from Evangelica. The grey on the inside, the second of the greys. Vicosa, Chief Song towards the outside. Malaya getting a bit closer now. Number 5, Isaiah from Evangelica. Vicosa, Chief Song, Malaya. Racing towards the top of the hill now with 3 flights left to jump in the ASW hurdle. And Isaiah the leader from Evangelica, Vicosa. And behind them Chief Song and then Malaya. Running downhill, Isaiah from Evangelica, Vicosa towards the right, over on the far left, Chief Song coming there powerfully now. Malaya still trying to get on terms with them. 3 from home, Isaiah, a very slight mistake there. Chief Song travelling strongly towards the outside. Evangelica back in third, and 4 Vicosa. Chief Song towards the left of the picture as we see them. 2 from home. Isaiah, Chief Song from Isaiah, as they race round the home turn, and got 1 left to jump now, and Chief Song under Tony Dickin surges into the lead now and goes clear. Malaya putting in a run towards the near side. Malaya and Isaiah almost together, but Chief Song only has to jump it and does so well, is well clear. Jumping it second as Isaiah, and third Malaya, but striding up towards the line, and Chief Song has this well sewn up. Chief Song, who was a very impressive winner recently at Fontfall, duplicates that triumph in spectacular style at Cheltenham. Chief Song is the winner, Malaya is second, and Isaiah is third, and 4 is Evangelica, and 5 is Vicosa, and that's how they finished in the ASW hurdle, with first number 3 Chief Song, owned by Mrs. Ann Davis, trained by Simon Dow, second winner of the season, and ridden by Tony Dickin. Number 2 for him. Second was Malaya, number 5, owned by Count Conrad Gers-Saru, trained by Jim Old and ridden by Tom Grantham, and third was number 4 Isaiah, the long-time prominent Isaiah, owned by Mrs. D. McRae, trained by Mrs. Julie Cecil and ridden by Terry Kent, with fourth number 2 Evangelica.
Here they are coming down the hill there. On the left there we see the winner, and Chief Song just left his hind legs a little bit behind there. Just dropping out in the pipe colours is Evangelica. What I was trying to say before I was, well, the producer was telling me to keep quiet when the betting was coming up, was that some of these French horses will go in and pop, but he was jumping quite big, or she was jumping quite big today, Evangelica. Just at the corner of the picture in the red colour.